boys and girls. It's the day before Valentine's Day, or the day of, part 2 of my root canal. And today, Mr. Michael Baker has a super fun homebrew request for us. Remember, kids, deific obediences lasting longer than 4 hours may require medical attention. Today, it's all about the Greek god Priapus. If you guys are liking what you're seeing, like and subscribe. If you guys think you could do it better or have requests for your own homebrew or official deities in the comments, remember, patronage at any tier, in addition to getting you extra entries in our brand new giveaway playing us some Final Fantasy D20, gets your request to the top of the line today. Though I believe he may be getting it twice. Well, he had 2 requests this week. Wonderful syncing up of patronage today. This episode of Wednesday Afternoon Worship was brought to you, in part, by Mr. Michael Baker. Thanks for your help, man. I hope our chat about brainstorming and stuff was, well, fruit-bearing for you. Now, let's dive in. Alrighty, so, in Greek mythology, Priapus was a minor god of fertility, protector of the livestock, plants, gardens, and male genitalia. Seriously, it was very hard to find a thumbnail-worthy picture of this dude that wasn't, just blatantly not safe for work. Priapus is so well put together that the term Priapism literally comes from this deity. Eventually, Priapus would become a popular figure in Roman and Latin art and literature, and, as you might imagine, is the subject of the often humorously obscene collection of verses known as the Priapia. Which, to my understanding, is basically just several verses about what Priapus will do to you if you rob from his fields. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about it anymore from there. You certainly can Google this deity if you'd like to learn more. For now, let's go straight into that homebrew, shall we? So, Priapus has all the swagger of Caden Kalian, all the presence of Gorum, yet cares about the fields, the livestock, growth of things, both family and food. So I feel like he's got to sit at true neutral, allowing neutral good and chaotic neutral clerics alike. His domains are animal charm, plant, and trickery. His subdomains are lust, growth, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but innuendo is a subdomain, and Priapus would certainly have it. His favorite weapon is the sickle, and his symbol, a statue of himself. The ancient Greeks were weird, what can I say? Anywho, to perform your homebrew deific obedience to this deity, stand in a field, vineyard, or similar place of agriculture, and keep watch for threats to the area for 1 hour. Boast to any and all who see you of your ability to deal with such threats in any way that you see fit, being unashamed to highlight your strong suits. In return, any weapon you wield grows 1 size category larger, and you can use it without penalty, treating it as if it were a weapon of your size. Sentinel boons grant us enlarge person thrice a day, adoration twice a day, or earth tremor once a day. At 16th level, sickles you wield are treated as adamantine for the purpose of ignoring object hardness, and you gain a +2 bonus on sunder attempts with sickles. Finally, at 20th, you no longer take the penalty to attack rolls when fighting with 2 weapons while wielding 2 sickles. The sickles you use deal damage as if you were a war priest of a level equal to your own. If you are a war priest, you may add a bonus on damage with sickles, equal to half your level, against opponents who have stolen from you or your friends. Exalted boons. It's blistering invective thrice a day, haunting reminder twice a day, or draconic malice once a day. At 16th level, add your wisdom to intimidate checks versus smaller foes, in addition to your charisma and strength and con and everything else that you can slap on intimidate. And finally at 20th level, when you successfully affect an opponent with a mind-affecting fear effect, that opponent's allies must save against the same intimidate check, spell, or ability every 1d4 rounds as long as they are within 30 feet of that opponent. Moving out of range and back into range can cause a creature to avoid the effect, but it does not end the effect. So moving back within range can cause the effect to trigger again with a new 1d4 roll. This effect lasts for a number of rounds equal to your wisdom modifier. Evangelist boons, it's harvest season. Thrice a day, plant growth twice a day, or thrusting entanglement once a day. At 16th level, as a swift action, you can designate a scarecrow or similar farm adornment to be sacred to Priapus. As an immediate action, while under this effect, plants in the area in which it stands are affected by both effects of plant growth and are immune to cold damage. As an immediate action, you can instantly transport yourself to a square adjacent to this adornment that is free of crops as per teleport. If you do, and would arrive in an encounter, you gain a bonus on initiative equal to half your level. This adornment must be placed in a farm, vineyard, or similar location and left there for 1 week before this effect can be used, and if it is moved, it must stand at its new location for a week before it can be used again. And at 20th level, when you teleport into combat with your boon ability, the adornment animates and fights alongside you. It is treated as an exact copy of you, with temporary magic gear conjured to reflect your own, save that it has DR 10 over everything and fast healing 10 so long as it is within 30 feet of its field. Seems good, right? We got the boasting, we got the plant growth, we got the scaring people off, and we get to buff a weapon that doesn't often get used, the sickle. Now, as for the boon, after completing a particularly honorable, that's a fun choice of words, crusade in the name of Priapus, Priapus will grant you a permanent +2 bonus to your constitution. Do with that as you will. Okay, so using Priapus in your campaign, to be honest, is kind of along the same lines of using Lamashtu, Sakoth Benoth, any profane demon lords, due to the nature of how Greek mythology works. The ancient Greeks, though I've never met one myself, I certainly imagine were a very phallic people, and so, for that reason, many times a lot of things a worshipper Priapus, or Priapus himself might get up to, would certainly need to be veiled. In much the same way, frankly, as things that like Zeus would get up to. Seriously, Greek mythology, it's wild. But that doesn't mean that Priapus doesn't have a place in your world. Look at Erastil. Look at the small town protector. That's basically what Priapus is, except Priapus is on the direct other side of the alignment chart, though again, I leave him at true neutral, because as far as the culture goes, back then, I don't think necessarily he would have been seen as CN. All of the Greek gods were up to no good, and I'm kind of rolling that into the video as well. This deity is a very, very strong mix of like Caden, Caelid, Gord, and Erastil. It's a weird combination, but if you don't want to worship Erastil over and over again in your games, Priapus can be the other side of that coin, filling the same niche with different roleplay. If I were to play a character who worshipped Priapus, I think I would look to something along the lines of like an urban druid. Well, at least a druid that lives on a farm. Maybe not all the way urban, but not living out in the woods by yourself either. It's a pretty common trope in a lot of games like these that in the early game, the farm comes under attack by mysterious forces. Any character who worshipped Priapus basically stands against all threats to their local farm, mundane and magical, which is very easy to write in at the beginning of a campaign and kind of makes for a weird mercenary band style play moving on later in the game, traveling from farm to farm, offering your protection, because no one can do it quite as well as you. But what do you guys think about Priapus? How do you feel about deities like this in your games? Would you worship him? Would you allow him? Throw it in the comments. We'll keep that conversation running. But that is all we have for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. We're gonna grab an Imperial Lord next week. By patron request, she of Ebon Wings, the lawful good god of intelligence, spies, and stealth. It's Kellenahat. See you next Wednesday.